Hi, welcome. Today we are going to talk about clients. When it's time to let go, how to identify that, how you do it graciously. And I also want you to think in terms of even preventing new clients coming in, like when it's time to say no in that initial sales process. Because sometimes those red flags go off and you're like, well, it's a client. Let's just see how this goes. Okay. So how do you know when it's time to move on from a client? This is how and when. I know it can feel really safe and comfortable, easy to stay with a client that maybe you've worked with for a while, or one that's paying and, it's fine, but maybe the feeling you have, your gut is telling you it's time to move on. Limiting beliefs keep you where you are, and they'll hold you back from the growth that you want. This is a limiting belief. It's comfortable, it's easy, it's a paycheck. I got to just go for it. And this is what having a business is. To some degree, yes, you have to deal with things that maybe are not pleasant, you don't love, it's not your ideal role in your business, but when you've been in a burnout, reactive mindset for so long, it's easy to let these limiting beliefs win. But you need to feel confident in yourself and really own that value that you provide your clients and your ability to find work with top tier brands. We are going to dive into the 5 biggest signs that it's time to move on from a client. And then I'm going to shift and give you my best tips on how to professionally, gracefully exit a partnership. Number 1, you're not feeling satisfied with your agency. I truly believe that your business should light you up. But when there is a particular client that's getting in the way of that, it is likely time to move on, because this feeling of being uninspired and unmotivated is a key sign that a client isn't working out anymore. You really should enjoy the work you're doing for all of your clients and be excited to get them results and be excited to share wins with them. I want you to still get excited and love getting results for your clients. You have to have a clear vision of what you want for yourself and your business. And have you even done that? Or if you have, do you revisit it regularly? Do you look at the vision and values to ensure that the actions you're taking, the decisions you're making are aligned with that vision? So it's simple, you think about what you want your agency to look and to feel like. So what kinds of clients do you want to work with, and which services will you offer? Services that drag you down, drain you, feel like a drag. If you don't want to offer them, then don't, because it's not aligned with the feeling that you want your agency to bring to you in your life. Think through, the niches that you want to work in. What excites you? Are you going to do work in something that's really boring and draining just because you've done it all along, right? So if something doesn't align with your wants, it's out. It's time to prune. It's time to move on. Number 2 is maybe you're not getting paid what you're worth. This one is an immediate red flag that you should likely move on. You want to get away from hourly and even project-based, unless there are very clear boundaries and timeframes around your project. Retainers are what we should all be shifting over to if you are not already. Maybe the amount of work that you're doing for your client, it doesn't make that low retainer fee worth it anymore. And maybe the client's current rate is so far below what you charge new clients that it's impossible to raise your rates enough to fix the issue. You have to get out of there, because low-paying clients will drain you. If you look at it in the long run, you're losing a lot, because, take a broader perspective, because the longer you spend working with low-paying clients who don't align with your agency vision, and that vision also includes your revenue, the fewer opportunities you have to work with other top tier clients who do align with your wants. Say no to what doesn't serve you and say yes to what lights you up. And this could also be their niche is no longer aligned with your vision. right? Like you've worked with them for a long time and you're kind of like, I don't want to work with this type of client anymore. This isn't really what I want to be doing. And your passion, your heart just isn't there anymore. And in those instances, it could also be a disservice for the client, because a lot of what we're doing is passionately telling these stories, sharing what we believe. If you don't believe in it or you're not excited by it, your pitches will fall flat, your results fall flat, and nobody wants that. Number 3, your client really isn't doing anything new or exciting. Maybe it's been a while since your client launched a new product, things are getting stale, it happens. And if you have already run the gamut of pitching their hero products and, coming up with new angles and ideas for their slow movers, or pitched their new, they're like something around their expertise. If you deal with clients that are experts or entrepreneurs and you're pitching their expertise or contributing to stories, and you've kind of exhausted the kinds of advice that they're able to give, you're struggling to match your client with niche trends, or you've just lost your steam with your pitches, maybe it is time to let go. And saying no and letting a client go, like I said earlier, it's an act of service to them, because moving on at that right time, it's part of delivering stellar service to clients. And you're allowing your soon-to-be former client to find someone who is that right fit for their brand. Reminding yourself of this, that you're doing them a service, will break the mindset that letting them go is bad business and giving them poor service. Number 4, maybe you're turning down other work. You shouldn't be turning down work from potential partners that are aligned with the values and vision that you have for your company because of a client who is dragging you down, right? You may say, like, we don't have the bandwidth because of this other thing. It's taking a lot of our team's resources, or I just don't have the energy to onboard a new client right now. Plain and simple as that. If your client is dragging you down and you can't work with other clients, if you're saying no to clients that you would want to work with due to time constraints or maybe a conflict of interest, then you need to at least consider letting go of the client that is holding you back from those other opportunities. And this goes double if you're turning down higher paid, more exciting dream clients. A client that is only causing you exhaustion, maybe overwhelm and frustration, is not worth the lost revenue and excitement of other opportunities. Focus your energy on intentionally creating a business that you love, and the right clients will find you. Okay, and number 5, clearly this is when it's time to go. You don't feel valued or respected. Oof. It's a big one, because if you're dealing with a lot of scope creep, communication issues, that's your connection. That is your relationship that benefits your agency and your other clients. And you have this client that does not give a crap about, that work you've done for them. Maybe it's a lack of praise, right? The lack of praise, kind of making you feel like, that was good, but this other company, that's better, or it could have been better if it had XYZ. And you're like, are you kidding me? Okay. We don't want to work with someone who doesn't respect our contributions or our expertise. So it's the golden rule. We want to treat others the way that we would want to be treated. Don't allow your client to walk all over you and treat you with disrespect. To be very clear with yourself about why you're letting go of this particular client and what your ideal client looks and feels like. So you have to settle into that feeling. How do they treat you? What does that relationship look like? What is that level of trust between you and the client? We have clients, they pay us great retainers and they leave us alone because they trust us. Having that clarity really does help get them through the door. You become a magnet for what it is you're wanting and seeking. And it also makes it really easy to say no. Those no's become very clear with the potential clients that come along. You're going to be like, this just isn't right for me. And you won't feel as bad saying no to those opportunities because it is very clear. So now we're going to talk about how to let go, how we're going to fire, we're going to, tuck and roll out of this client relationship, no matter how long you've worked together. It could be for, really early on. It could be years and years. You got to respect that the process might be a little bit different. So the first thing you have to do is you have to check your contract. Check the agreement, look at what the client signed. If you've committed to a 6-month retainer, you likely should, if there's no reason like you're not getting results, right? Like I will go to a client and say, we have 6 months, but we're 3 months in and it's kind of not happening. It's up to you, right? In those instances, I let them decide. If you have signed a 6-month and you're looking to get out of it just because of, clients not making you feel great, try to finish out those 6 months and then you can move on, and let them know 30 days before the end of the contract or whatever is stated in the terms of your agreement. Show them that you respect them, you respect their time and their budget by doing this right away. Give them that 30 days notice, and it'll give your client a little time to find someone that will take over once your partnership ends, or even better if it's you that provides that trusted referral. Number 2, you're going to remind yourself of your value. It's going to be a tough conversation, whether you've worked with them for 6 months or 6 years, and it is normal to be nervous and feel scared about how this chat is going to go. You've developed a relationship with this client and you want to respect what you've built together, even though it's time to move on. And the situation should be approached with care. Take a step back and remind yourself why you're doing this. This is where your value in yourself, your confidence in your position as the leader of your company, that this is the best thing for you and for your team and your company. So you are looking at this like you're burnt out, you're in need of a change. These are the things that you're going to remind yourself of. Maybe you're letting go of a client so that you can up level your revenue. Maybe you're leaving behind a client that's been dragging you down mentally and financially. That's like a clear, okay, I got this. This isn't the right path for me. Whatever it is, you need to continue to remind yourself in that hard conversation, this is a valid and important reason for letting a client go. And the peace that you're going to feel in this new stage, in your agency and your life, is more than worth the discomfort of this conversation. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for always tuning in to learn something